skills here we need. What is our culture or specific way of communication? All right. So here, for example, in UK company, everything is formal. You need to talk to formal. You cannot be informal. You cannot talk informal. You cannot laugh loudly because that is considered stupidity. So there, every organization or they have their own culture. So you need to train according to that. Some trainings are journal and some trainings are specific. Journal trainings includes communication skills, system applications, and programming. We're just gonna give you overview, not specifics. Supervisory skills, sales, growth, and all those stuff, technical skills. That's it. But specific skills, I'm gonna tell you. Okay, that is your creativity if you are doing this job. You need to be creative, and what kind of creative? This kind of be creative. You need to educate customers how through this portal. This step you need to follow for every customer. Maintaining diversity, culture awareness, remedial writing, managing change, leadership. Sexual harassment nowadays is going to be very challenging for HRM. Team building, wellness, and others. What kind of dress code? What kind of whether there are grouping or there are teams. If there is team, it means everyone is responsible for success or failure. If you fulfill your duty and your team loses, means you loses, because that is group oriented. So nowadays everyone is shifting towards not groups, rather teams. So there are some traditional training methods, which are general traditional methods. On the job training, first call the employee on the job, and on the job give them trainings. Okay, this is how you print, this is how you make letters, this is how you place the files, this is how you maintain the cupboards of the files, this is how you go to the canteen, this is how you, if you want to smoke, if you there is a smoking zone, and that you just give you some orientation plus on the job training. Job rotation, in which employees are given roles in other areas, so that if some other department employee is not there, you can replace him. Then mentoring and coaching. So if you have any problem, there is some person who you can always go to him and ask some help regarding information, support, encouragement, right? We also call this apprenticeship. And then experiential exercises. So they give you simulation, role playing. So normally they are in trainings which are done in some closed environment, in hotels. Okay, they take you some training centers in which they give you some simulation, some face-to-face trainings. All right. And then workbooks, manuals. Employee refer to training workbooks, manuals for information, in which you are given a big books regarding policies of the organization, and you need to read that, so that anything happens you can always consult to the workbooks, manuals, rather going to your employee or peers asking for help. And then we have classroom lectures. Give them lectures on leadership or something, or to enhance their knowledge regarding their specific job requirement or job information or any kind of information. Special training, specific trainings are always technology based. You give them some videotapes, podcasts, lectures regarding, for example, Visual Basic programming or something. And then we have e-learning, we have video conferencing. They also employer pay for some short courses for employees, so that they can enhance the skills. Then mobile learning and virtual reality. Normally, these are done in software houses to improve employees' learning experience. Now, after selecting the employees, giving in orientation, having trained the employees, and now it's time to see his evaluation, whether we have make a right decision or not, whether he is improving or whether he is doing his or following his job descriptions or not. The practice of providing job feedback to employee that may be used to improve performance and for compensation and promotion decisions. Right? So there are methods, for example, written essays, critical incidents, graphic rating scales. Other as well. So written essays, the boss or your supervisor write down an essay on you, evaluating your employer, your strength, and that's it, and forward it to the managers or higher authorities. Critical incidents, which means rather, you know, you have evaluation on every December. An employee who is very much absent or non-cooperative in early months, all of a sudden he's very cooperative in December because appraisal is there. So at the end, chances are that his supervisor or his superior will write down a positive aspect of him because he's present in December, because recent attitude or recent incident play a very important role in his appraisal. So in order to eliminate all that kind of biasness, because he previously did not perform well and all of a sudden he becomes very active because appraisal period is going on. So employer introduce critical incident. So they every month they write down some incident, some critical incident. Okay, this was his behavior, good behavior or not. He effectively perform or he ineffectively perform in January, in March, and then they add all that stuff and write down in December appraisal and send it to the higher authorities. The thing is that it is time consuming. Plus, more subjective, lack of quantification is there. So we have also graphic rating scales in which you find out, okay, how much you give this rating. That is more, research based. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How much you rate his performances? 5, 4. This kind of stuff. So it provides quantitative measurement, but in-depth job behavior you cannot find out. And then we have bars, behaviorally ankle rating scales. We have multi-person comparisons. We have MBOs, management by objective. We talked about that. And then we have 360-degree appraisal, which means receiving feedback from supervisor, his peers, and his subordinates. Multi-person comparison, in which each person is compared in comparison with his work group. MBO, each employee is evaluated on how well they accomplish specific goals. If you are able to achieve your goals, then you will be given good appraisal, otherwise satisfactory or average or below average. That's it. Right? So, and these are their advantages and disadvantages. Okay, now the next step, monitoring. There can be electronic monitoring as well. Nowadays, it is always already electronic. Nobody is coming to your place of work and monitor how you perform. Everything is electronically monitored. So, in which you use electronic instruments to collect, store, analyze, and report individual group performances. Sometimes The top management send you some form, some video recordings, some some kind of like secret envelopes or something, so that nobody else can see, only the person, relevant person can see. And you can email them, or like Google Forms or something. So it is privately dispatched to the relevant authorities. The next thing is, which is the last one I think, is compensation and benefits. His performance is good, all right, and you monitor his performance for a continuous period of time is good. Then the thing is, you need to retain that employee. So retention of the employee, number first step is how you offer, what is your offer to him. An offer not only just includes salary, dollar salary, it also includes benefit. So there are two kinds of pay. One is called skill pay and one is variable pay. Skill pay, which is a system that rewards employees for job skills they demonstrate. And variable pay system in which individuals compensate. Compensation is contingent on performance. If you perform high, you will have a higher salary. You have a basic salary, and then rest of the stuff is depending on your performance. So the skill pay, so thing is that what causes your level of compensation and benefits. Number one, your experience to the job and your performance, which means how long you have been to the organization and how you perform. And then your role, what kind of job you are performing and how much skills it requires. What kind of business you are doing, which means what kind of industry. Some industry pay you high salary, some industry pay you low salary. Whether the organization has union or not. If union, then of course you will be getting higher salary, but higher salary, everyone is getting higher salary.